Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday night. I am Thor, and we are still talking about the Atlantic peak hurricane season situation. And as I predicted months ago, this is going to be the wildest hurricane season we've ever seen. That I've suggested throwing out any past models of future hurricanes and situations away, and treating these all as fresh new supervillains. Whereas I evacuated Harvey 3 weeks ago and was making videos asking other people to evacuate, and have been making videos since detailing the situation we have going on now. It looks like now Florida is up, and it is my official recommendation for the people of Florida to evacuate if you can. Now, the trick with Harvey, his supervillain superpower, was the ability to just drop heavy rain and stay stationary for days. Now, what we've seen with the models that have been pretty consistent the whole time on Irma is her wind speed. And the wind speed is going to be able to push in a lot of the ocean water, which they call storm surge. It's where the ocean comes onto the land for a while. And we're looking at the European model now, which shows a direct hit all the way down Florida, which would be, I think, a worst case scenario. And so, as I've recommended to the people who say they can't get out, I would watch this storm, because some people predict it's going to be to the east of Florida. Some people predict it's going to be to the west of Florida. So if you can't evacuate, I do recommend you at least try to, if it goes east, go west. If it goes west, go east. Though, that plan may not be as good as well. I don't know, like the latest projection I saw had it, as I've said for a while, 200-mile-per-hour winds possible at landfall. And at this point, with this close, there's no way I would be trying to say anything to anybody to try to scare them. I'm just trying to give you guys the facts. And having seen Houston, our third largest city in America, which pretty much has a large chunk of the entire oil and gas industry in America, having seen it crippled and almost wiped out, now watching Florida, Miami and Tampa, and a bunch of other great cities that might take a severe, devastating blow as well. This is an extremely scary, sad time for all of us. And here we have Jose, and then on the other one we have Lee coming next. It's wave after wave after wave. Now we'll go with the GFS. And so now is the time for everybody to work together. We are all in this together. And so some of the models I've looked at on this thing, once it even passes Florida, I saw one model from last night that had it linger for almost a week. It took a week to exit up through Canada. And some projections have said that Irma will come back out onto the ocean and possibly strike again. And then some models we've seen have Jose doing some weird loop-de-loop and then hitting Florida again. So this is a very serious situation. So man, my brain is jello. I haven't slept in like 2 days. I got like an hour and a half, 2-hour nap, but that didn't really feel like a nap. So I gotta go out for a drive, because I can feel the energy in the air. And so, like, we will literally, our entire country, the United States, will take 2 major hits. Texas, and then now in the southeast coast. And so the days for us to find the things we don't like about each other, or the things we don't agree with. Those days are over. They should be. Because I will tell you something. If I was the leader of this country days ago, and even for Houston, I would have called in the Army and the Marines, and I would open up both lanes of traffic on the highway, and I would have the Army and the Marines, the soldiers, regulate traffic, because everybody knows that in traffic, usually traffic is caused by a handful of idiots or selfish assholes who can't simply follow in a straight line and everybody kind of go the same speed. You know, you can move a lot of people. If everybody's doing 50 miles per hour and get everybody a half a car length distance and just going forward, you can move a lot of people and not have a lot of traffic. It's when you have those few folks who are making this, you know, don't understand physics, they don't understand velocity, they don't understand anything really, and so they're screwing up everything, trying to cut in line. That causes a major problem. A story I've told with Rita was when I evacuated for Rita back in the day, and I tried to take the back roads, and that there was this concrete bridge, because the whole thing was concrete. And so what happened was that all the people who tried to cheat and go around everybody else, when they got to the concrete bridge, there was like 36 cars, you know, and it only has 2 lanes to go in. And so 36 cars were mashed at the front, trying to get in, and people were waving guns, and it was literally apocalyptic. So it was like, if the Army and the Marines can detain and control the people who are ruining it for everybody else, I would think we could move a lot of people out of there, or Houston, or any city we needed to fast. Also, I would make sure that we were having a steady stream of gasoline in Florida, all up the South Carolina, North Carolina, anyone that would need it, anybody that needs to evacuate, you're going to need gasoline to get out. You know, we have transportation buses for the elderly and special needs and children. Like, there's so many things where I believe that our leadership should be focused on this. And I'm not here to talk about politics and the fact that, you know, we may have had 2 states crippled this year. Yeah, I would be extremely concerned. I mean, I am, as Thor. I'm really concerned, you know, but life is wild, and I have faith in God, and I have faith in you. And no matter what happens, I'm going to do my best to do my best. So I highly recommend we all stick together and work together. But if you're in Florida, my prayers are with you. And I highly recommend you evacuate if you can. And if you can't, just try and plan it out as smart as possible, because some of the damage we've seen in the islands has been pretty horrific. And I'm still going to say, although everyone is 100% sure this thing is definitely going to take a hard right turn, a Gulf Coast, you need to watch out. Although it is going to be interesting, because as we see the straight line here, this one has been, Katya's been stationary. Katya hadn't been doing nothing. I can't get her to move for nothing. She kind of was expanding, and then she stopped. And so, you know, the next 24 hours, next 40 hours, next possibly week, is going to be crazy. So we need new protocols. We need new ways to look at things. The old way of doing things isn't going to work anymore. I can't stress that enough. So, united we stand, or divided we fall and drown. And, you know, if this does major damage to Florida or any of the states, I definitely think it's time to rally the realm and rally the states. And I even recommend rallying Canada and Mexico, and realize that we are all in this together. And if anything, we're fighting the system that we created with Band-Aids over 1,000 years. And yes, there are probably some people at the top who do whatever they can to keep control over the people. And so, I highly recommend everybody stop fighting a race war, a religion war, or, a gender war, or a sexuality war. Because if anything, it's always been a class war, And, our whole country's $20 trillion in debt. You know what I'm saying? So, we can either come together, or we can have a very slow, painful collapse. Anyway, God bless everyone. Hope this helps. This was just like, hey, yeah, I highly recommend everybody evacuate. My prayers are with you. Peace out. I'll talk to you guys. I'll probably have another video up tomorrow in the morning. Go for a drive and imagine I'll get some sleep somewhere. Anyway, stay cool. And remember, this is a marathon. You still got September, October, and possibly November in hurricane season. And I believe someone pointed out to me moments before this that Africa fired off a weird shot, a weird wave, which I kind of agreed with. Like, yeah, that seemed to come out fast. But look at it real fast and I'll get out of here. This is moisture. So there's Irma. There's Jose. And see that little whole wave across? It's almost like the inner core rotating. Oh, and remember, we had a third X-class flare. And so, the second one, I believe, started hitting a while ago. So the aurora should be amazing. And suspicious observers, pretty confident that it's not going to knock the grid out. So, I'm going to go ahead and go with that. I've been too busy focusing on hurricanes. And I'm not good at, plasma physics studies comparatively against whatever shoddy grid we have at the moment. Anywho, peace out. God bless everyone. And stay cool.